What exactly is going on in Japan with regards to marriage and childbirth? The Japanese government is calling on black men to come impregnate Japanese women. Women are no longer interested in giving birth in marriage. Same goes to men.
Black men, Japan needs you. Japan is calling specifically for black men.
Japanese are going extinct, and there's only one thing you can do to help us, and it is go out there and start producing with Japanese. Because we are going extinct, Japanese are getting rarer. I know this is not the best site that you're looking at, but it might be your last time that you're looking at real Japanese girl on TikTok. So yeah, come to Japan and help us, please.
I will get back to that video soon. Japanese is going extinct. There's a rapid decline in their birth rate. Who is going to save them? The government is asking for help. Is immigration the way out?
Japan's birth rate is so low, the country's prime minister says it's on the brink of not being able to function as a society. Japan is home to the world's second highest percentage of people 65 years and over. The top spot goes to the tiny Mediterranean state of Monaco, which hardly counts. It has a population under 40,000 and a third of them are millionaires. But back to Japan. According to official data, the country's population peaked at 128 million in 2017. It's now at 125 million, and it's projected to fall to under 53 million by the end of this century. That's a serious drop, and it's hardly the only industrialized country with declining birth rates. The same thing is happening in Europe and North America. Just this month, China, currently the world's biggest country by headcount, reported its first drop in population in 60 years, and it's expected that India will surpass China's population sometime in 2023. Elon Musk recently tweeted, "Population collapse is an existential problem for humanity, not overpopulation." Do you agree?
Why is Japan's birth rate decline so dramatic?
I'm in my 40s now. Our fathers kind of built Japan Inc. So they were gone after we fell asleep. So we wouldn't see them at all. They had the kind of samurai Bushido spirit that we're fighting for the company. And that has slowly changed. I think that's our generation now is kind of a generation that kind of missed out on that relationship maybe, is trying to make up for that.
People saw their parents overworked, sacrificing a lot to work and raise a family, but the new generation is rebelling against that.
It's a big economic investment that I think even Japanese people are more interested in maybe spending on themselves just a little bit more than back in the day.
Japan wants to encourage people to have babies, so they're giving money to new moms, but many experts say that it's a losing strategy. And to really fix this problem, it will need to allow more immigrants to come and also accelerate robots in the workplace.
This is quite interesting. The Japanese government is paying women to give birth. They are also importing black men to come impregnate the women. Why are they focusing on the women alone? I'm very much aware that they have men in that country, not just women alone. Why are they focusing on women alone? What does this tell you? Women are very important in a society. Without women, there is definitely going to be issues with population, and that's exactly what's happening here in Japan. The government is persuading women to get pregnant and have kids, but women are saying no, we are not interested. So why are Japanese women no longer interested in having kids, not interested in marriage?
Can I ask a question about kids?
Yeah.
What's your feelings on them?
In my 20s, I would have said, absolutely must have kids. I want them. At 30, I started questioning if that was just something that society's told me that I've wanted. There's not a lot of men I meet that I think they'd be great fathers. And so I kind of don't have that instinct to like procreate with them because I'm like, oh, I don't know if this would be an equal parenting relationship. My mom had like a very Britney Spears moment where she just like shaved her head. She was raising all three of us. My dad was in Afghanistan for like a 6-month tour. Understandably, she had a little mentee beat. You know, she had a little mental breakdown. Shaved her head one night, was super drunk, screaming, crying. And she was like, she grabbed me by the shoulders and she was like, don't have kids. Don't make the mistake I did. Have a career. Be someone.
People in Japan are like, yeah, no thanks.
No!
1 in 4 Japanese in their 30s have no plans to get married. Here are 3 reasons why. Motherhood or career. 면도kusai. More and more Japanese women love going to work, love making their own money, being independent. If men are expecting us to pay half at dinner dates, which is fine, we're gonna need money to do that. Financial pressure is 면도kusai. Did you know wages in Japan have not changed for the last 30 years? Having real relationship is mendokusai. The impact of anime has made people lazy. Anime characters don't talk back. People can't be bothered with reality after hours. So this was a really good outline for a college paper. You're welcome.
3 reasons why Japanese people aren't having sex. 1. Work. People in Japan, especially big cities like Tokyo, they work a lot, like bunkers in Frankfurt. So when they get home, they're already tired or their partner may be already sleeping. 2. Hookups and casual dating are taboo in Japan. Very few Japanese people date casually, unlike Germany. People are dating in order to be in a relationship with someone they like or to get married. So 3. Japanese women are ashamed of asking for sex. Some Japanese men even don't like when Japanese women are open to sex. Is it okay if women ask for sex to their partner in Germany?
Japan is in critical crisis mode. The country's birth rate fell to a record low again for the 8th straight year. So if you look at the numbers, births fell 5.1% from a year earlier. This is the lowest number of births since 1899, when Japan started compiling these stats. There's even a university that designed a clock counting down the number of days until there's only one child left in Japan. How morbid. So why does the birth rate keep falling? Experts say it's partly because people aren't getting married. In Japan, it's culturally pretty rare to see births out of marriage, so the number of marriages is a pretty good indicator of birth rates. And if you look at these recent numbers, the number of marriages also fell to 489,281, the first time in 90 years that it dipped below 500,000. This problem is of such national concern that the country has been throwing money at this crisis, providing more subsidies for childbirth, kids, and their parents.
People are rebelling globally. People are waking up globally. People are tired of the lies from the society. People are tired of being used by the society. People want quality life. They want to do things on their terms, not what the society is telling them to do. People want to live their own lives, not based on what the society is telling them to do, but based on what they want to do. People are waking up. Yesterday, I spoke about the dating apps, and the lady mentioned that in Japan, they don't believe in hookups and just dating. It's not part of their tradition. So since they don't believe in hookups and not dating, they don't have baby mamas everywhere. They don't have people giving birth out of wedlock everywhere. But in the US, that was something that was introduced so people can have children all over the place. This is to tell you that it's very intentional. They're using it to control the people. Dating apps are part of the system. They know what they're doing. So you have to wake up. You have to focus on you and do what works for you. The system destroyed their initial plan because of greed. They increased the cost of living because of greed. They wanted to make more money off people. Capitalism again. They wanted to make more profit. Now it has backfired. People can barely feed. People work so hard but get little money. So they've decided to live for themselves, decided not to have kids, decided not to even get married. Now the society is regretting. They are in a state of confusion. They don't know what to do. They're begging women to give birth. Women are saying no, and they're leaning towards immigration.
Black men, Japan needs you. Japan is calling specifically for black men. I know you are saying why, Tasha. They say they need babies, and black men tend to make a lot of them. After South Korea proposed last week $75,000 per baby that a family has, Japan is in desperate need, okay? And they are calling all black men, specifically immigrants, to come and impregnate their women so that they can save their dying population. I don't understand because, you know, black men were once and still is on the inner side of the line, which means their lives. I mean, what are you going to guarantee us if we send our men over there to help save you? Could you imagine? Think about this. After everything they put us through, everything, y'all trying to take these men out. Now you need them to repopulate the earth? The United States is responsible for what's going on over there in Japan. Why should we be held responsible? And get this, they ain't even paying no money to do it. They're just saying, please, black men, immigrants, please come have babies without women. Here's the thing. We're going to need to run some tests because it could be from what happened years ago as to why their population is down. You know what I'm saying? That stuff's still in the soil. It's still in the air. You already know what I'm talking about. What's that white man name that thought it was a genius idea to create the biggest bullet in the world? Oppenheimer. Yeah, that's his name. So why is it that, you know, y'all called him this, y'all called him that, you enslaved and you did this, and now you ain't calling for white men. You ain't calling for, you calling for to come save your community. And I'm going to go over there and I'm going to start me a negotiation firm over there in Asia and stuff. And I'm going to have black men come breed with them, but they're going to get benefits. They're going to get lifetime protection from any type of child support if they decide to leave and don't want to stay in these here countries. They're going to be set for life, which means anything that these kids bring, it is going to come back directly to the black family, which means if I send Sheck over there to breed, right? Let's just say hypothetically I sent him over there on a contract breeding, anything that these kids inherit is going to come back to us. The same way they do it with these, you know, we used to be slaves on this land out here, and anything that we work, you know what I'm saying, they own and went back to their family. We going to start sending it back to Africa, back to the black families. That's the type of contract I need if you need this sperm. Because this one ain't dying. We going to get our kickbacks out of here. Moving on.
Back in the days, they made people believe you need to give birth in your 20s, you need to get married so early so you don't have issues with your biological clock and all that. Those were all lies. So they can have people giving birth early to fill the gap. They don't want gap in their workforce. They need young people working for them. Now they've realized that people are no longer giving into that lie. People are waking up. People are choosing to do things for themselves, live for themselves. People are choosing to be independent. They're having issues with workforce. So they decided to sell the lie of, oh, when you're older, oh, you have issues with giving birth, oh, the quality of your egg, sperm is not good enough and all that. Then it resulted to shaming women that are deciding not to get married early, that are deciding to build themselves, build their career and know who they are. Them using men to shame women. So women will give into their lies, give birth, get married early so they can have the system running back. But it's really not working out that way for them anymore. And we've heard of what's going on in Japan. Everything still falls on women. They need women to populate the nation. They need women to populate the country. Because without women, that's not going to happen. Are they going to go to the labs and create clones? Those clones are not humans, they're synthetic. How long are they going to last? Fine, they can create robots to help with the workforce because that's something they said they figured out. This shows how important the workforce is to them because they need to keep making profit. They need to keep making profit. So it's up to you if you want to submit yourself as a lab rat or you want to live your life in your own terms.
I made a video about how black people was needed in Japan because they depopulating by the second. To give you more context, they not making babies out there. So they need to come up with a solution. The solution may be getting the melanated sperm implanted into the ladies because let's keep it a buck between Mexicans and black men, melanated people, them sperms is going to ride through the forest and they probably going to take Africans first. We talked about that and the reason why in the last video. But you know, black women had something to say about it. You know they did. There were 3 energies that really were in the comments from the women. Please go. We don't want you anyways. If you dumb enough to go out there, have a good time. Please, black men, think. Don't go out there for that. If you were reading the comments, you would think that it's bickering. But for me being a black man in my experience with black women, what I seen was 3 levels of love. Okay, maybe 2. Maybe the first level was them for being for real to get up out of here. They don't want you. But what I really picked up was love. It's like our love language has been so hardened, but it was still love. Not to mention all the men that said they would pass on going for that. And it made me realize we love each other. We have an odd way of saying it on the internet and the lines can seem a little blurry. But when it comes down to it, we really do care about each other's safety. Black men, we care about our women's safety and our women, they care about our safety. They just have their way of saying it. And that's all that matters is that we know we care about each other. The rest of the world don't need to know, but we need to have some sort of know. We gonna be alright. Let's just use the internet to show how we love each other. So next time Dubai calls y'all out for a poo-poo party, I'm gonna be the first one in the comments to say stay your butt at home. Not because I'm hating, but because I love you. And that ain't sarcasm. I really love you, black woman. We really love y'all black women. Y'all just had to get on us about Japan, though.
Japan needs more babies. Their population is getting old. So what do? They turn to black men for a solution. Check it out.
Black men, Japan needs you. Japan is calling specifically for black men. Now, I know you were saying why, Tasha. They said they need babies, and black men tend to make a lot of them. After South Korea proposed last week $75,000 per baby that a family has, Japan is in desperate need, okay? And they are calling all black men, specifically immigrants, to come and impregnate their women.
Black men, I tell you guys all the time, know your worth. Your seed is valuable. You are valuable. If you're not wanted here, there are places all over the world where you're not only wanted, but you're adored, admired, and worshipped. We got to understand something. A lot of times, people don't appreciate you where you are. That does not mean that you're not valuable. You guys are going to have to understand that. And if you can't get what you want here, the world is a big place, and they have their arms open to especially black men. Might be time to get a passport.
Isn't this the right time for the passport bros to get their passports and zoom off? And they're gonna get paid. Isn't this the perfect time?
Hold on now. Japan is asking for black men to come and pollinate the forest. Let me just give y'all a rundown, man. Japan is not doing too hot. We're gonna pray for them. The scientists over there was doing some calculations, and they said, hey, the way the sun is hitting and the planet is shifting, if we stay this complexion, we will cease to exist anymore. So if they breed in American babies over the next 100 years, they can endure the things to come. Here's the thing, though. They don't like us. I ain't gonna say they don't like us. I'm just gonna say as a country, they ain't never cared about your well-being. And they're not gonna start caring about your well-being if you start coming over. In fact, the country who was recommending that the black people come over here, I'm pretty sure they're talking about they want Africans to go over there. African black men. Not because American black men are not fine or attractive. Believe me, Japanese women would love for American black men to come over there and bust them jaws open. What I'm saying is, though, if the African black men come, they can still treat them however they would like to treat them, but say like, hey, we're offering you an opportunity to do what you've always wanted to do anyways. Like, it reminded me when scientists were saying that global warming was bad for us. They ain't specify who global warming was bad for. But this ain't about global warming. This is about a job opportunity. Do you, black man, see yourself going to Japan to populate and to bring life into the world and to represent the Japanese further on? But we know they for real if they ease up on their visa requirements to stay in the country. Like, if you just notice like a whole bunch of Africans can become students abroad out there, and the rent already going cheaper by the day. They might be for real, y'all. They might be for real. I guess it just comes down to, do you want to learn Hanishiwa?
So I know a lot of these passport bros, and especially black men, are in my comments asking me why I'm talking about this. It's not my fight. And before anything, I'm a woman, so I'm always going to stand up for women regardless of race. And one thing that really bothers me about this is these same passport bros are the men who probably tried to hit on me in the US before they realized that we don't like them either. I'm from a town that really doesn't have that many Asian women, especially Asian women who look like me. Like I said, you guys, I'm adopted. I grew up in a white family in the Midwest, so I have no beauty standards from South Korea. I'm a thick woman. I weigh about 165 pounds. I'm 5'5", so honestly, the brothers like to holler, and they still do. Regardless of what some men in the comments were trying to say, that black men aren't checking for Asian women. Yeah, right. Check my DMs. But anyway, pretty much every time I met a black man, he thought it would be a flex to say something like, yeah, I like my women foreign. I like my women exotic. And I don't know why they decided to say that to me, if they thought it would make me feel good or something, but for me, it's always a red flag. And so I would dig in a little bit further and say, well, what do you mean by that? Like, because I'm a white girl on the inside. My family is white. I grew up in a white community in a small town in the Midwest, so I might look exotic, but I'm Wonder Bread white on the inside. So anyway, whenever these guys would say this, I'd be like, well, you're about to be in for a big disappointment if you're expecting a submissive docile Asian to take care of you. But it really bothered me when these guys would say, yeah, I don't like black women, because that's what it always came down to, that they didn't date black women regardless if they were black or not. And their moms are black, their sisters are black, their cousins are black. I'm like, would you say this to their face? That's weird. So I kind of pick and prod after I already decided, yeah, I'm done with this, I'm out, because anybody who says something like that just is an immediate red flag. But it always came down to the same stupid stereotypes that black men always have to say about women. They're loud, they're masculine, they don't know how to treat a man, they wear fake hair. So what? So what? You don't have to put down an entire race of women because you have a preference. And honestly, like, I've dated pretty much every race, every ethnicity. I'm Ms. Worldwide when it comes to dating. Only common denominator is black hair and dark eyes usually. But I've never heard any group of men put down their own women more than I've heard black men do it in pursuit of other women. And I just find it really disheartening. And I understand why this divide is getting bigger, but I don't want to be a part of it. So I hate it, and I had to speak on it.
Why are they calling on blacks? Why are they calling on men from the black community? Why are they not calling on men from other race? Why are they not calling on the Caucasian man? Why are they also focusing on African men? For the black men in the black community in the US, there's already a divide. And that divide was intentional. That divide did not just happen. It was something that was orchestrated. So once there's a divide, it's easier to sway the men away, because in the first place, the men don't like the women. So they can easily accept. Those men already got their passports to zoom off. They have a group of them they call the passport bro. There's already an issue in the community. United you stand, divided you fall. That's exactly what's happening in the black community. So it's easier to get them. In the Caucasian community, I don't think anyone will be interested. Maybe just a few, but not a lot of people will be interested in this offer, because they are okay. They're happy with their community. They're happy with their people. But black men are always quick to say nasty things about black women. They are being used. For the African men, those people are looking for greener pasture. They believe the grass is greener at the other side, which is not always true. They refuse to water the grass where they are, and they're looking for who is going to do the work for them so they can move over and reap. That's what a lot of them do. That's their mindset. Oh, the country is bad. The economy is bad. If you trace back to the history of a lot of the Western world, they had it worse than we did. They found a way around it. I know their own strategy wasn't good, but in all, they found a way around it to revive their system, to build your system. But a lot of Africans don't want to do that. They're looking for already made stuff so they can hop on it. So that's why they can easily call on African men to come, flash some money in front of them and passport. They'll pack their bags, leave their life behind and run over, because to them, they're moving on to something better off. But in real sense, are you really moving on to something better off? I really don't want to talk about the whole immigration stuff that is going on. I'm holding myself not to talk about it, because I see that as modern day slavery. In the past, you were forced, but this time around, you are paying to be used. Let me don't extend that conversation. Let's leave it at that. So what do you think about this whole stuff?